Okay, we're going to take you through the process of creating your V audio track image using Inkscape. The first thing I want to address is the size of the image. The image is 1920 by 180p. That is the exact size that is necessary in order to have your V audio track fit in all resolutions, including smart TVs. That's something that you have to address because as we move along and technology changes, we're starting to see video and audio being played on smart television. So let's start this course. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about some of the tools that we'll be using in this course. The first tool we're going to talk about, which is here, is our selector tool. That we will use to select images and move things around and modify things. The second tool we're going to talk about is the gradient tool, which I'm mousing over right now. This tool will allow us to change the gradient of this background here. So you'll notice the gradient here and down here. So the next tool we're going to look at is the dropper tool. It's an eyedropper. What it basically does is if there's a color that you want to get, you click on that particular color, and I can show you that right now, and it will give you that color. So you notice that it's changed it by me clicking on it. So let's go back up here, and we're going to change that back, and we're going to import our album cover, which once we import it, we're going to change it to the exact size of this album cover area, and that's 750 by 750 pixels. So let's import our image. We're going to click File, and then we're going to click Import. Alright, so let's select it, and you're going to see this pop up. Inkscape always does this, so we're going to link by embedding it. We're not going to link to it, we're going to embed it. So make sure that's properly selected. Okay, so now we have the album cover, and we're going to change the size of the album cover, and we could drag it to the size, but it's much easier to use this here area here, which are your dimensions, your width and height, and make sure that this is locked so we can keep the aspect ratio at the same size. Alright, so we're going to type in 750. and we're going to click enter. So now the image is at 750, and we're going to drop it in right here and get it lined up. So now we have that lined up, and we want to change our video header title, which is located here. And what we're going to put in this area is in stores now. Okay, so now we have that. We're going to go down to this next section, and we're going to put the title of the song. And that's going to be one of the title releases from Pushing the Sun, because we're actually using their music and their album cover for this tutorial. So we're going to type in Pushing the Sun. And you'll notice it's a little too long. So we're going to go back over here to the selector tool. And the way I got to this is I double clicked on it. So once you double click on it, you have access to the text. You'll see I'm highlighting it now. And I'm going to go back to the selector tool. And we're going to change the size of this song title. So in order to do that, to keep the aspect ratio, you'll click Control on your keyboard and you'll left click and then grab the corner here. You'll notice I'm moving it now. So we're going to get it sized down, and we're going to move this around a little bit. So we're going to get this to the point where it fits pretty well. So that's fairly simple. So the next part we're going to do is we're going to change this area. Now, one thing I will say is you can put any information you choose to in this area, or you can just modify the whole image once you learn Inkscape and you become proficient at it. So we're going to put in Pushing the Sun's Twitter profile name, which is Pushing the Sun, and we're going to click the selector tool. So we're pretty much done here, but we want this to match up with the album cover so it looks cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the album cover, and we're going to go down here, and you know what? We're going to click the background. We're going to change the background color. Let's get that done. And then we're going to click on the album cover. Once we get the dropper tool, which is down here, you'll notice it's here. Sometimes it's just already lined up in the toolbar, but sometimes you have to pop it out. So let's go ahead and click dropper, and you'll notice these nodes here. There's a top one and a bottom one. What those are is those are gradients, and that's your gradient tool. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the top square, and we're going to change this yellow color. And we're going to change it to something here. Let's see what we can get out of this album cover. So we're going to click on the album cover. And that's not working. Okay, that's a little better. Let's see if that'll work for us. If I can find a better color. No, don't like that. Okay, that'll work for me. So, and then we're going to click the circle node. And we're going to change this navy blue color to something else. So let's grab something else in here, see what we can get. Okay, that'll do. That's better. Okay. So what you'll notice is there's a gradient here also. We're going to take advantage of that gradient. And how we're going to do this, we're going to click on this here. Oops, wrong thing. Got to get the selector tool again. We're going to click on it with the selector tool. Make sure you got that little hand there. You'll notice there's a little hand. That will allow you to select it. Then we're going to go back over here to the gradient tool, which is right here, and it's green. That little, two nodes on it with the line in between it. You notice the nodes came up here. So we're going to change this node. And the cool thing you can do is you can have a transparent portion to the gradient. So we're going to click this little X down here at the bottom so it'll be no color. So that looks a little better. And pretty much we're done with the image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you over to see a design that I created. It took about 45 minutes. I didn't want to have you design something like this because it's a little more complex. There's more to it. But you get a general idea of what you can do with Inkscape when you're creating your V-audio track image. So you'll notice that I have the sun in the background. It's an abstract sun, kind of fits the theme. It keeps it looking professional. So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to save this, and we're going to save it as Pushing the Sun. Okay, I'll just save it as whatever you want, but let's save it. Okay, so we're going to save this. Then I'm going to show you how to export this because it needs to be exported. So we're going to export it. I'm going to change this name first. So you're going to have to browse to the point. Click on Browse. And for us, we have a specific section. You can create whatever you want. So the audio track. And we're going to call this Pushing the Sun again. You have to do all this to make sure that you don't copy over the original. I'm going to call that 2 for this tutorial so I don't copy over the other image. Alright, so I'm going to click Save, and then make sure that page is selected, not drawing. You want to go by the page so it gets the whole area that's supposed to be there. We're going to turn this into a PNG, and you'll notice here it'll say PNG in this area here, this last the extension. So we're going to export. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get done, but we'll get that done real quick. Okay. then let's go back over to the documents. I have a lot of documents in here, so we're gonna go find that file, and you'll notice that it's been saved and is actually a PNG. Okay, courses, the audio track. Okay, so there it is. That's done, and it is 19 by 20. I mean 1920 by 1080p, which is the correct size. And we'll talk a lot more about sizes in some of the other courses, especially like design courses when you're creating album covers, things of that nature. But at this point, we're completed with the V audio track image. We're going to move on to the next step in the second video to show you how to place your image inside of the YouTube Movie Maker and your audio to create the V audio track itself. So that's pretty much it. You can go on to the next step. Thank you.